Hello, people of YouTube. This is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we're talking about My Hero Academia Season 7, Episode 11, 7-11, if you will. So we are just fighting Shigaraki pretty much this entire episode. We're back into it. Bakugo, pretty beat up here. Let's go ahead, get past the intro here. So he's beat up pretty bad. Best Genius is fixing up his arm. This episode has a lot of the big three. So you got Nejire, Sun Eater, and Lemillion all in here. Lemillion shows up. Light's Fate Deranged is the title of the episode. Shigaraki here has Bakugo held up pretty bad, essentially using him as a human shield against the other heroes. Shigaraki apparently can't even get poisoned here. He actually develops a mouth that's, here's your crazy shot with Sun Eater trying to get out of there. But he develops a mouth that is able to spit out poison, so can't get poisoned in this form either, which, of course not. But we have Lemillion grabbing Bakugo, getting him out of there, and him and Nejire essentially being a distraction. For Sun Eater to do what he is trying to do is essentially build up a bunch of things together to create a massive plasma cannon, which I think is really cool. Sun Eater is one of my favorite characters in this show. I know he likes to hide his face and run away, but I really like his quirk. So what Lemillion does, because he knows his normal punches aren't going to affect Shigaraki, is he tries to power them up with Nejire's abilities there, and it barely scratches him, doesn't really do much. We have Bakugo here crying, basically Best Genius saying it's okay if you're done. It is what it is. All the other heroes are fighting as well. Bakugo kind of thinking about Deku, thinking about All for One as well. Shigaraki is still inside his body a little bit, or his Tomaru, I believe, is his real name, or his birth name, if you will. Lemillion struck a chord here by saying that he doesn't have any friends, and then he yelled at him. Mikun and Tomo said I was nice. He really jumped out there. So hopefully they can get rid of All for One's hold here and break actual Shigaraki out of it. I don't know if that'll help because, obviously he doesn't want his body being taken over, but at this point, I believe that is what happened because he is 100% complete. So, he has that direct connection with All for One here. But that really struck a chord, so I'm wondering if that is going to, be a deciding factor here in defeating him possibly in the future, because this does not look good right now. He is in, he's a little bit in rough shape. Not as bad as the heroes are as well. The entire high school is destroyed too. Everybody's trying to, subdue him. He just keeps pushing more and more and more. We get a little bit of Nejire's backstory here. She just seemed extremely interested in quirks and had more of an extroverted personality. Deku had that whole notebook with everybody's quirk in it, where he was more introverted, but she would actually just talk about everybody's quirks and was like super interested. But everybody thought it was her looking down on them. So a lot of people just didn't want to be her friend, secluded her. Where Sun Eater here kind of liked her. I don't know if he liked her in a romantic way or just wanted to be friends, or whatever the heck, because it looks like he had two guy friends trying to help him along here. And he was kind of covering his face trying to talk to her, and then she just starts rambling off. You see Lemillion here with his butt hanging out being silly. Lemillion's pretty silly. But she basically talking about how she kind of broke out of her shell, got some friends as well. But yeah, she's just one of those girls that'll walk you down a corridor, if you will. If she's talking, and every time you take a step back, she takes a step forward. The next thing you know, you're at the end of the hallway, if you will. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But here we have the giant, crazy plasma cannon with a combination of a bunch of crazy things, plus Nejire's power as well. And he's essentially using his second arm as the crab, kind of as a firing pin. if you will. If you're hitting a bullet. Him basically saying, he's breaking out of his shell too. Yeah, he's got a crab shell arm. Ironic. And saying that he's going to do his best to do what he can. And turns into this giant, crazy plasma beam, hits Shigaraki dead on, blasts out of the barrier. He's actually did a strategy where it goes through the barrier. He's not actually hitting one of the pillars to break it. Obviously, you want to contain him there. But for about 12 seconds, it seems like Shigaraki got defeated. But basically what he did is he just kept auto-regenerating the fingers and other parts of his body until the ray was done. So the ray didn't even actually hit him whatsoever. Bakugo then stands up and... I think I don't know if he's running on fumes or what's going on here. Even Shigaraki tells Best Jeanist, he was like, you got to be barely conscious right now, being how hard I hit you. So Bakugo is also running on fumes. He got hit pretty good. He actually developed a new power in his quirk that he wasn't aware about, but essentially as he was building up, trying to hold on to the sweat and build it up, the beads actually started coming out everywhere, essentially allowing for him to be extremely fast, almost to like a teleporting stance, and dodge Shigaraki's attacks very easily. But he's kind of out of it right here too. He ends up talking about wanting All Might's. This kind of explains it right here, this scene, but we'll go ahead and skip past that because I just explained it for you. But Shigaraki's saying, why am I getting flustered by him right now? This is super annoying. Getting angry. And then I think we got to see kind of like a past One for All versus one of the past All for Ones. Or All for One, I should say, versus a past user of One for All, of All for One for All. There we go. And I guess Bakugo is reminding him of this guy right here, one of the past users, as well. We see kind of the visuals, I guess. I don't know how you call it. I don't know if it's canon that Bakugo... I think the movies are canon. That Bakugo had All for One, or One for All. I keep getting them mixed up. Temporarily. And then, Deku ended up getting it back, obviously. But... or this could just be fighting spirit, something going on in his mind, who the heck knows. But he's saying, he wanted All Might's autograph, never got it. He was kind of a brat. Bakugo's still kind of a brat, but he's gotten quite a bit of character development. Here, they're just kind of talking about, general weather, because the fight with the plasma ray changed up some of the weather. His mom saying he doesn't like the rain. But there's really nothing much you can do here. They're just all getting their asses beat, and Bakugo might actually be dead. They said that they mentioned his heart, and he looks pretty shot here. I'm going to be honest. So they didn't specify if he is alive or dead, and they don't mention it in the preview, but it wouldn't surprise me at this point if they wanted to kill off a main character to give Deku the motivation to finally kill Shigaraki. He hasn't... I don't think he's actually technically killed really anybody in the show at all. He doesn't really want to, but this might be the death that kind of puts him over the line in order to finally do it. So I guess we'll see what happens. And it doesn't look like he shows up next episode. We'll go to the preview real quick. So what we see in the preview here that is a really bad still image. Look at his face. Oh, that actually right there might be the screenshot of the day, because that is sometimes you pause animation and it's not very, in a sequence it's nice, but when you pause it, not always the best looking like that. Apparently Dabi's fine now. We thought Dabi was defeated, evidently not. He gets back up. We see Deku running as well, and then we also see One for All. All for One? There we go. All for One regenerating using Erie's quirk. So, yeah, I don't think Deku's going to show up next episode. Besides, he is just sprinting towards Shigaraki, if you will. We'll probably see some All for One action. We'll probably see some Dabi action. Overall, we might get Deku showing up at the very last minute in the episode, seeing Bakugo's body, and him about to encounter or fight Shigaraki, if you will. But I'm not really sure. I have no idea if Bakugo. I just had no idea yet if Bakugo is dead or alive. He looks pretty shot, so it would not surprise me. Bakugo is never my favorite character in the show anyway, so I hate to say I don't really care that much, but yeah, if he died, it's definitely sad for Deku. But in terms of me, the viewer, it is what it is. What it is there. Overall, we'll give this one like a solid 7 out of 10. Had some good parts, had some meh parts. Felt like a couple of parts could have been sped up a little bit. Some of the background, so we don't need the weather. We don't need that part of it. Nezuri's backstory was kind of cool, but at the same time, I don't think we really needed it. But that is what it is. Same with all the big three's backstories. I mean, we got some of it, before. We got a little bit of it, and I guess they just wanted to give us a little bit more. So, some people may feel differently with that. But yeah, that's where we're at. So next episode, fighting Dabi again, fighting All for One again. Deku shows up at the last minute. That's my little prediction there. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. Like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned for tomorrow for a shorter video regarding Tower of God. And as always, have a good one.